Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on 3 movies about the end of the world. First up is House of Dynamite by Catherine Bigelow. Then The Astronaut, starring Kate Murrah and Lawrence Fishburne. And finally, there's Greenland 2, Migration, Gerard Butler and Marina Baccarin in a Roman Griffin Davis movie. That's a sequel to the other Greenland. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 18. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So Catherine Bigelow likes to make these military movies. I assume she has the cooperation of our government and our military to do these sorts of movies. So therefore, everybody will look incredibly competent. Even though what happens in the movie is a missile is heading for the United States. Nobody knows where it came from. Do they blow up the world or do they just sit there and take it is the question. The answer is they don't. And they solve the problem, and in the end, everybody lives. Because it would be a downer of an ending if everybody died. And then you'd have Don't Look Up. So, yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be this intense film that's gripping and explosively entertaining. A cautionary tale, says IndieWire. They make these movies every once in a great while. October 24th, rated R for adult situations. Written by Noah Oppenheim. Not Oppenheimer. Idris Elba's in it. Do I recognize anybody else? Nope. So, yeah. First act, a bunch of people doing their jobs in the government. They're all good people in a movie like this. They're never incompetent boobs like in a classic like Dr. Strangelove. No. These people, they all do their jobs. They're very serious. And then a missile comes. Oh my God, a missile. Where's the missile from? Do we launch? What do we do? And then it goes back and forth for the next 2 hours. Just like in Zero Dark 30. And nobody seems to know where the missile came from. Then do they let it hit? Can they shoot it down in time? And the answer is yes. Here's the general that says, well, we should launch. We should attack or we'll lose our window of opportunity. Please, gentlemen, no fighting in the war room. God, I love that movie. Dr. Strangelove is just the best. Will this be the best? I don't think so. I don't think it'll be gripping at all because I don't think anybody's going to, it's just going to be one long tease and then they solve the problem and the missile is stopped. But for how long will be the message? Let's read the write-up. From Academy Award-winning director Kathleen Bigelow. I don't think she deserved it for The Hurt Locker. I'm just saying. Comes a House of Dynamite when a single unattributed missile is launched at the United States. A race begins to determine who is responsible and how to respond. So, in select theaters, October 3rd in the UK, globally, October 10th, and on Netflix, October 24th. So, why even go to the movies? Next up is The Astronaut, starring Kate Mara and Lawrence Fishburne, about a female astronaut who comes to Earth. She crashes back into Earth in her capsule. Do they even still use capsules? I thought they were done with the capsules, and the suit looks a little retro. I don't know if it's meant to take place in an earlier time, but anyhow, she's of course very competent astronaut, but they send her to a house to recover, but something is very wrong. They don't know what cracked her helmet. Was she infiltrated by some aliens? Yes, somehow. I don't know how. Because then she starts hallucinating, or is she hallucinating, and has she developed superpowers? And then at the end, there's a big swarm of, I don't know, bees or space bees, maybe? I don't know. Kind of reminded me of that remake of that, oh God, it was Keanu Reeves, The Day the Earth Stood Still, that remake, that awful remake. God, what a horrible movie that was. If you haven't seen it, you're lucky. So it's The Astronaut. Let's see if I can get the credits up here. Where are the damn credits? There they are. Oh, come on. There we go. Written and directed by Jess Varley. I don't know. This woman seems a little wafy to be an astronaut. Can you be that wafy and be an astronaut? I thought you had to be a bit taller. Seems too tiny to be an astronaut. Also, it strikes me that to be an astronaut, you have to really be an alpha. You have to be like an overachiever. And again, her energy in this trailer is very low. Very low. And I get it, she's recovering, but she doesn't seem like an astronaut. Like, remember that one astronaut? He went to the army, then he got a medical degree and became a doctor, and then he was a scientist on a space station. I mean, that guy was that to me is an astronaut, a super overachiever. She just seems like they shot a housewife in the space, and she's not having a very good time after coming back. So first act, she's recovered from space, and she's all achy and crampy after a spacewalk or whatever. So NASA puts her up in a house away from her family, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why wouldn't NASA, like, if they thought she was contaminated, like, put her in an isolation unit somewhere on the base where they could monitor her 24/7 until she recovered? And if she is recovering, why isn't she in a hospital recovering? Don't really get the idea of, like, well, let's put her in a house all by herself out in the countryside. That doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what they do. And of course, strange things start to happen until finally it gets so strange. Her husband and her kid are involved. Lawrence Fishburne's there for some reason. And then, I don't know, the space bees attack. And then they realize, oh my God, you've been infected by space bees? I don't know. Somehow the world's in danger, and it involves aliens and her. I think, unless that's all dream sequence. I don't know. Let's read the write-up. When astronaut Sam Walker crash lands back on Earth, she's discovered alive in a punctured capsule off the Atlantic coast. General William Harris places her in quarantine under strict NASA surveillance. Doesn't look that strict, for rehabilitation and testing, but disturbing events escalate. She begins to fear that something extraterrestrial has followed her home. Wouldn't they have seen that? She's also getting weird bruises on her body. I don't know. This seems like it was half-baked. Didn't quite needed another rewrite or something. And finally, there's Greenland 2. I didn't see Greenland 1, but it was a race to get to these bunkers in Greenland before a bunch of meteors hit and wiped out everybody. And the end of that movie, they did. So they've been in the bunker for 5 years. And everybody up topside basically died. With some exceptions, maybe. And now they want to leave. You spent the whole first movie trying to get into the bunkers. Now you want to leave. Okay. So the reason they want to leave is they found a valley in the south of France that has fresh water, and it's an idyllic countryside. It's not hit by all these meteors and radioactive storms, so they're going to try to get there. And on the way, there's more meteors, and they have to run through the ruined cities, and there's a few survivors, and they have to encounter meteor storms. And Gerard Butler and his accent will save his family to get to the valley. Until the next movie where they have to leave and get to a rocket ship? I don't know. How many times are we going to do this? Greenland 2, Migration. So, seems like a lot of trouble to... Seems like you went to all the trouble to get to the bunker. I guess the food's running out? That would be a reason. But you're going to get all the way to this valley and what exactly? You're going to have to grow food and test the water and make sure it's not full of parasites or something. Um, and fish and live and repopulate the earth. Like, how are you going to do all that? How are you going to do all that with meteors raining down constantly? I don't know. So, let's read the write up of this. In the aftermath of a comet strike that decimated most of Earth, Greenland 2 Migration follows Garrity family, Gerard Butler, Moreno Baccarin, and Roman Griffin Davis, as they're forced to leave the safety of their bunker in Greenland to traverse the shattered world in search of a new home. Okay, I guess. All right. So let's rank these. So we got, oops, too far. House of Dynamite, The Astronaut, Greenland 2. Well, I will grant that Catherine Bigelow knows how to make a movie. I just don't feel that, I feel like it's too predictable. And I've seen that movie a million times. Yeah, put it on the bottom. Well, I put Greenland 2 on the bottom because I didn't see Greenland 1. Gerard Butler does not pick good movies anymore, in my opinion. Hasn't picked a good movie since like 300. And all the movies where he saves the president. I think one, he's a pilot who has to fight with a dude. So I guess I'd put that on the bottom. And then Catherine Bigelow would be like a close tie. I mean, it just looks like every kind of movie like this, Just going to be a lot of people sitting around a desk looking very intense, and they're not going to die. They're not going to die in that movie. And on the top, I guess it would be The Astronaut. I mean, yeah. At least maybe this will come out as a better movie than I think. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. Saturday, I'll be at the Mercer County Library in Lawrence Township for the Book Fest, 10 to 2. And on Sunday, I'll be down at the Dragon Shops in Bridgeton, New Jersey. If we don't get rained out, and weather report just changed. That's from 10 to 5. Hope to see you there. See you in the next one.